Hi, my name's Mel. So glad you could make it. Slightly different format this week because what we'll be doing is kind of a trip report to when we went to Rome for the Six Nations Rugby, how we got there, where we stayed. At the end of the video we'll be going through the costs, where to get the tickets and how to get the tickets at a very substantial discount indeed. So I hope you enjoy it. When there's talk of going to a large stadium in Rome, most people will think of the Colosseum, but we're going to be going to the Stadio Olimpico, which is a bit further north, a bit newer, and a bit larger. The Stadio Olimpico is around 6 kilometres north of the Colosseum and on the other side of the Tiber. It's the home ground for AS Roma, Lazio and the Italian Rugby Federation. But this is a trip report, so I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. I need to say that we flew to Ciampino at Rome with Ryanair. And as you can see, Wizz Air also operate from this airport. We didn't have a lot of luggage, so we were able to go straight outside and catch public transport from stand number 7. We got the 5:20 bus from just outside the terminal. After you've caught the bus at the airport, the 5:20, it trundles along slowly but surely along this route here, over towards, if I scroll up a little, we'll see it, Cinecittà, a metro stop on the A line. In fact, it goes on also to Subagusta, where it turns around. There we go. I think that's what this means in this white box. It terminates at Subagusta, turns around and goes back to the airport. So it just shuttles between the airport and these two stops on the A-line, Subagusta and Cinecittà, where you can make your way from there, as we did, all the way in on the metro to Spagna, which is here, Spagna, by the Spanish Steps. And we got off and went to our hotel, all for the princely sum of €1.50 each, that being the fare at the time. There's always talk of them going up, and it may go up to €2 shortly, which we'll just have to see. Rome is an incredible place with many things to see and do, and in fact this is a short excerpt from a little video I've done already about the place. I'll leave a link in the description below, and while you're heading below, don't forget to like and subscribe if you could. It'd be really helpful. And because we were there in February, the first weekend of February, there were no crowds, the weather was still good, and it was just incredible. But I dare say what you're interested in is, how do I get to the stadium? How much the tickets cost? Well, we're coming to all of that. So this rather confusing map here is Rome's public transport map. Another one, another version. And down at the bottom, Colosseo, is the Colosseum next to the Roman Forum. Over here we've got the Vatican City. There is Spagna, the Spanish Steps. But we've got to get to the Stadio Olimpico, and there it is, the Stadio Olimpico, not far from the Tiber. And the best place to head for if you're using public transport is here, Piazza Mancini, where the tram line number 2 goes to, this green line here, tram line number 2, and it loops around and heads back down into town. So you can just head to here, and there's the fan zone here, but there are plenty of buses as well. And what we ended up doing was getting the metro to Flaminio, then we got the tram north, and it loops around and comes back to Piazza Mancini, and then we walked across the bridge here to the Stadio Olimpico. And after the match, we then got the walked back over the bridge and got the C3 that meanders its way round and comes back to Flaminio here. And we ended up, in fact, walking through Piazza del Popolo and down Via del Babuino, I trust I'm pronouncing that correctly, back to Spagna and back to where our hotel was. One last thing I should say is that although the map looks pretty confusing that we were looking at before because it's got all the buses on, Rome's public transport system has got a lot simpler to use because of tap and go. You can just use your credit card on any bus, any tram, any metro, and some of the suburban railways as well. But let's say you don't want to get involved in the buses. You can just simply go to Flaminio, and as you can see, you can get the number 2 tram to Mancini, and you cross the river over to the Stadio Olimpico. If you don't want to get involved in the trams, that's fine. Best bet then would be to get the metro to Lepanto or Ottaviano, and then you walk. It's a fairly flat walk. It's about 45 minutes walk from either of these two stations to the Stadio Olimpico Stadium just there. And you're there, basking in the sunshine, ready to watch the England-Italy match. How are we going to get our hands on some tickets? And in fact, practically as many tickets as you want. I ordered 8. I could have ordered 28, it seems to me. Well, you need to know when the tickets are going on sale. So you can go to the Italian Rugby Federation website and you can sign up, register to the Italian rugby community, and then you'll be receiving communications about, I would like to receive communications from Guinness Six Nations, and then you'll be informed when the tickets go on sale. Or you could just go to ticket1.it, who are the ticket agents for the Italian Rugby Federation. Type in rugby. There we are. Scroll down the box and you've got Nazionale Italiana di Rugby, which is the national rugby team. Click on that and then sign up for the ticket alert. I got emailed this notification in July of 2023, so some 6 months before the actual match itself. And you can see, click here to access the purchase page, which I duly did and got my hands on 8 tickets in the Tevere Centrale at a price of €80 per ticket, plus a booking fee of €2, making €82 per seat. And they were pretty good seats, I have to say. Now, those discounts. As I said, I bought my 8 tickets in July of 2023. And then on the 23rd of November, I got emailed this from Ticket One to say there's going to be a Black Friday event with tickets on sale until Sunday the 26th of November, so only a short 3-day window. Remember, I bought tickets in Tevere Centrale for €80 each. Well, here we are. I could have got them for €49 each, which is almost a 40% discount. Here, I was limited to 10 tickets in a single transaction, but it didn't only apply to the match that I was going to, match against England the first weekend in February, but clearly at that stage they were also concerned to shift the tickets for the Scotland match as well. Now, I watched the Scotland match on the TV, and it seemed to me the Scotland match was a sellout, but the England match was not a sellout. When we were there were still seats available. Talking of Scotland, the place I've been to most to see Six Nations matches is Murrayfield, and the atmosphere is incredible there. It's an amazing place to go and see a Six Nations match, but it is not cheap. It's a small city, and the hotel prices in particular skyrocket when the schedule for the Six Nations comes out, and it's known when Scotland is going to be at home. So unless you get in and book incredibly quickly, you can end up paying, quite frankly, an eye-watering amount for a rather modest place to stay. But let's do a comparison and see where we get to. So in Rome, February 2024, my total costs were something in the region of £600. I know I said earlier we went for 5 nights, but I've tried to estimate what the cost would be if we went or had been for just the Friday and the Sunday night. And the flights, they seem incredibly cheap, but I have checked the price and £90 was correct for flying with our dear friends Ryanair to Ciampino, the cheaper of the 2 Roman airports to get to and from. So there you have it, £600 for Rome. The year before, in February of 2023, I'd actually been to Edinburgh to see Scotland versus Wales. I joined the Scotland Supporters Club so that I could buy tickets directly, so that I wouldn't be reliant on cadging some via some rugby club somewhere. So that cost me £50. And again, just buying 2 tickets of what would be a similar grade to the ones that I purchased in Rome would have been £170, with no possibility of getting any discounts on a Black Friday event. So the total cost was something in the region of £720. So as you can see, the costs are roughly comparable. Now, naturally, your mileage may vary, as they say, particularly with flights to and from Rome and hotel availability and costs in Edinburgh. But the costs are fairly similar. And one of the big pluses about going to Rome is, of course, you're going to Rome. Not to say Edinburgh's not fantastic, it is. But you're going to Rome, and in particular, you're going to Rome at a brilliant time of year to go. Early February, when the crowds are low and the heat is low, and it's possible to go things and see things and do things unencumbered by other crowds of tourists like you and me, but unencumbered. So I do hope you've enjoyed that talk through of the various costs and how you do it and how you get the tickets. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments below, please. Don't forget to like and subscribe as ever. It will really help a channel like this, particularly if you could do all of those good things. So once again, thanks very much. Until the next one.